It's time for the Instigator, the in-your-face hockey podcast that is loaded with controversy and criticism. This hockey talk rant will spark your hockey thoughts and opinions. When controversy happens in the hockey world, the Instigator is there to fire off their opinion. You may agree, but you just might wholeheartedly disagree. That's what brings you back. Get ready for in-your-face hockey talk and controversy. The Instigator is hosted by Burud and is a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio.
And the Knights going right to the goal was Skinner, and he crashed into Tynan, and Tynan is down hurt now.
That was a high-speed crash, and Tucker Tynan looking not good right now.
Welcome to the Instigator, episode 36. I am Brad Burud from Inside Edge Hockey News. On this episode, we're going to discuss a very, very serious topic in the hockey world. In light of the horrific incident that happened Thursday night that the whole hockey world witnessed, I believe that the NHL, Hockey Canada, USA Hockey need to take a look at ways to reduce cuts from hockey skates. I have a way that would reduce the severity and hopefully reduce the amount of injuries caused by hockey skates. It's scary. We've seen it numerous times throughout this sport. I hope we can reduce them, because there's nothing worse than watching a young player or a professional player fight for their life basically on the ice. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show.
Inside Edge Hockey News, faking the slapper and going top shelf.
Last Thursday night, Tucker Tynan, a 17-year-old goaltender for the Niagara Ice Dogs of the Ontario Hockey League, suffered a horrific injury that may have taken the young player's life without the quick response from the trainers and the good response from the trainers. Early on in the second period, an opposing player team drove the net with a scoring chance. The players went in, was flipped up into the air, went in leg first, struck the leg of the goaltender with his skate. After the collision with the London Knights player, the goaltender Tucker Tynan, a 17-year-old, leaned forward, and you could see the blood starting to pool from his right leg. A serious, serious cut. He was tended to on the ice for about 10 minutes by trainers and paramedics, was taken to the hospital. The good news in the story, the very good news in the story, Tucker Tynan underwent a successful surgery and is now in stable condition. Due to the seriousness of the injury, the Ontario Hockey League canceled the rest of that game, postponed it, and also went on to later announce that the scheduled games for the weekend for the Ice Dogs would be postponed, which was a good move in light of the seriousness of this incident, because it was definitely one that was very, very, very scary. Now, this got me thinking. This isn't the first time I've seen this. It's not. And it probably won't be the last. I wish it was the last. I hate seeing scary injuries involving cuts. We worry about check from behinds, and we worry about, things like that. And I'm not saying we should minimize those and not worry about those. But when a skate hits a body and you catch an artery or something like that, it doesn't take that long for a person to bleed out. They bleed out quicker than you think. And we all remember the horror of Clint Malarchuk or Richard Zednik, who took it in the neck. Both been lucky to live. I mean, and incidents like Thursday night with Tucker Tynan, and the one that really got me too was when Erik Karlsson got his Achilles cut a few years ago. Man, when that happened, immediately after I was watching the game live, immediately after that accident, I ordered my son a pair of cut-resistant socks. Immediately. So that got me thinking even more after I watched the Tucker Tynan thing. I thought, okay, we can't not have players going to the net hard, because by no means was it the London Knights players' fault at all. So how can we prevent this? Now, I'm not one of those, parents or people that think we can prevent every injury in hockey. We assume the responsibility of injury when we step onto the ice. Like, I get it. But cuts are scary. I remember years ago, University of North Dakota hockey practice, a skater that I played against in high school, Mitch Vig, got his forearm cut, and cut bad, right on an artery. Hearing about that story, I wasn't even there, but hearing about it and hearing what took place, it was scary. And if trainers aren't on top of their game, people will lose their life. Another incident where a teammate of my son's got a skate in the neck. Thank goodness it didn't hit any major arteries or anything, but needless to say, it cut his neck. And when you're having a 12-year-old or 11-year-old at the time cut neck on the way to the hospital, holy cow. I've had my arm cut twice by hockey skates. No, none of them were serious or anything like that. But still, how can we prevent this? So I got to thinking, okay, cut-resistant socks work. There's got to be more equipment out there for this. After doing research, there is. There's tons. There's cut-resistant tops and bottoms that players can get. They're available. CCM makes them, and I'm sure other manufacturers do too. So why aren't goalies wearing these? Why aren't players wearing these? Nobody wants to get cut. No player wants that. No parent wants that. No fan wants that. So if they're available, why aren't we wearing them? Visors were grandfathered in the National Hockey League for player safety. Another equipment that comes to mind that's an optional piece of equipment that you see a lot of players wear, one that I know the Calgary Flames require their players to wear, and that's shot blockers on their skates to help prevent broken feet when blocking shots, or not even blocking them, getting hit by a shot. Why can't we make cut-proof undergarments required for all players? Now, I know they are not cut-proof. They're cut-resistant. And no, they won't eliminate cuts, but they'll help. They will prevent a lot of cuts. And you know what? Most importantly, they'll lessen the severity of cuts. Would Tucker Tynan's cut been as bad? I don't know. Maybe. But I'm willing to take the chance that this would help. There's technology out there that's not uncomfortable. I have held my kids' cut-resistant socks numerous times. They're not heavier. Heck, they're not even that much. They're not even thicker. They're not any different. I think it's time that the leagues take a step forward in this. Trainers take a step forward in this. Get these into the players' hands. Get them using them, getting them feeling comfortable with them. This is scary stuff, guys. When I watch this highlight, which I don't even like to see it, it makes me sick to watch this. This is somebody's kid out there struggling. It's time we step up and start doing some protecting of our players. We worry about concussions. We worry about pucks hitting people. Come on, guys. We got blades strapped to our feet. It's all important, whether it's a helmet protecting a head, a shot blocker protecting a foot, cut-resistant armor, undergarments prevent cuts, or at least lessen the severity. Come on, hockey world, we got to get with it and start requiring them. Get connected. Inside Edge Hockey News can be found on Twitter at Inside Edge Hockey. You can also check out the Facebook page, Inside Edge Hockey News. Check out host Brad Burud on Twitter at Brad Burud. And if you like what you hear, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Check us out on all major podcast players, and consider subscribing to the Inside Edge Hockey News on Patreon. That'll get you exclusive content and much more. Thanks again, and enjoy the hockey action.
Leads to McDavid, cutting in, and what a goal by Connor McDavid! Oh my goodness!
Just a sublime, decadent, suave tally as he goes between the legs, pulls Hudobin off his angle, and roofs it.
Thanks for listening to the Instigator. Check back for future episodes or download the show on your favorite podcatcher. Keep up to date with all the hockey news at Inside Edge Hockey News. And check us out on all forms of social media. Until next rant, take care and enjoy the hockey action.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.